Now, in 25 hours, polls in Georgia will open for Decision 2024.
All eyes are on the presidential race. Both candidates made stops in Georgia over the weekend and have one more full slate of campaigning today.
Ahead of tomorrow's election, there is already extra security in place in Washington, D.C. Crews put up more fencing around the White House and outside the vice president's official residence. We have team coverage for you this morning.
Starting first with 11 Alive's Ariana Manise live in Cobb County Forest, where vice presidential candidate Senator J.D. Vance will hold a rally today. Ariana, good morning.
That is right. Good morning. Senator Vance making one last pitch to voters here in Georgia. He'll be hosting a rally here at the Cobb Galleria Center behind me. Now, his visit today, we expect him to focus on the economy and immigration. In an email sent from the Trump-Vance campaign, it criticizes the handling of Vice President Kamala Harris's time in the White House, handling the economy and the issue at the southern border. Now, Vance's visit today follows a stop by former President Donald Trump. He was in Macon on Sunday. The rally aimed to connect with Central Georgia voters, a stronghold for Republican support. In his remarks to the crowd, Trump praised the early voting numbers here in the state and also encouraged Georgians to head to the polls on Tuesday if they haven't already done so. Take a listen.
We're just 2 days away from what will be the most important political event in the history of our country. I believe that. But you have to do one little thing. I don't want your money. I don't want anything. The only thing I want is get out and vote. Just get out, finish it.
Now, before Senator Vance travels here to Georgia, he's also traveling to Wisconsin and Michigan. Now, for his rally here at the Cobb Galleria Center, doors open at 3 p.m. and that rally will get underway at 5 p.m. Coming up in the next half hour, I have more on the Trump-Vance campaign's last-minute efforts to reach voters before Election Day. Reporting live in Cobb County, I'm Ariana Manise for 11 Alive. Back to you.
11 Alive's Molly Oak joining us live now. So VP Harris has several stops planned today. Even though she won't be in Georgia, Molly, there was still a rally planned in Atlanta.
Yeah, the Harris campaign making its way back to our state as they continue their final push for voters. As you mentioned, Aisha, we're not expecting to see the vice president in our state today, but her team will be here. Now, the Harris-Walz campaign will hold a rally in Atlanta this evening. Now, details are still limited on that, but musical guests like 2 Chainz and the Morehouse House of Funk Marching Band are expected to perform. Plus, Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock is heading to Macon today, along with other local leaders, to campaign for the vice president and push for votes as we close in on Election Day. A Democratic vice presidential nominee, Governor Tim Walz, made stops across metro Atlanta over the weekend, ending with a rally near Truist Park. 11 Alive's Faith Jesse got a one-on-one interview with the governor. This is what he told her when she asked about gun control and the Second Amendment.
I passed laws in Minnesota that created extreme background checks, extreme risk protection orders, pushing to make sure they're safer. Look, I'm a hunter, a veteran, a gunner. I was the best shot in Congress, one of the best shots there. I understand this. You can protect the Second Amendment. Kamala and I are both gun owners, but our first responsibility is gun violence. Other countries don't live this way.
But can you convince Congress? That it seems to be the holdup every time with the Congress.
Yes, either that or you'll lose, because 80% of the American public says we don't have to live this way. You can have your guns, you can have your Second Amendment rights, but we can do enhanced things, keeping assault weapons off the streets or out of our schools.
Now, this all comes as we've seen both sides of the race make multiple stops in our state during the campaign cycle. We have more details on that and what it means for Georgia voters on 11alive.com. Cheryl.
All right, Molly, thank you. Continuing our team coverage now with 11 Alive's Liza Lucas live at the state capitol. Liza, we are expecting a final election briefing before the big day.
That's right, and we expect to hear from the Georgia Secretary of State's office and Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger today at 10 a.m., so just in a matter of hours. That team has been keeping us posted throughout the process with these weekly briefings, and this latest check-in comes as we are marking more than 55% of Georgia voters already casting their ballot throughout the early voting process. That's more than 4 million people we're talking about in Georgia. 11 Alive political analyst Andra Gillespie telling us that the turnout thus far indicates the popularity of the early voting option. But we still had a chance to talk with some voters over the weekend who say they will be waiting until Election Day to cast their votes.
But the fact that people participated in early voting this time around, I think underscores the popularity of the convenience of having it. But I think it also suggests that we're probably looking at pretty high turnout.
I voted early and the lines have been pretty long. And when I voted actually on election day, it's usually just walk right up and vote.
So Gillespie does caution that if you are waiting until Election Day, she thinks the busiest hours will likely be when polls first open at 7 a.m. around the lunchtime hour, and then a final push right before polls close at 7 p.m. Again, the Secretary of State's office will be giving us their latest update as they watch all of these continued numbers from their war room. We'll keep you posted as that briefing gets underway at 10 a.m. here at the Capitol. Live at the Capitol, Liza Lucas, 11 Alive News.
Liza, thank you. We have a breakdown of every local race for you online. Go to 11alive.com and search voter guide in your browser. And make sure you join us on election night. Starting at 7 p.m., we will live stream results for every race plus county by county analysis.